By decision?
I do.
I don't think it goes to the cards.
Save it.
No, I'm just saying I don't think it goes to the cards.
I think it goes to the cards.
You think it goes to the cards?
I think he avoids the big shots. All right, welcome to Inside the Distance. I'm Anthony Bush-Bashilia with Mike the MadLab Bayarado.
What's up?
Real quick, sub to the channel. Okay, let's go. All right, we're going to go right into it, Mike, right? No wasting time. Quickly talk about last week's card. So, you know, I was out all day. I had this Brotherhood event, my Ascend Brotherhood, this entrepreneur group I'm a part of. I had a great day of events. And then I got home right in time to watch the last two fights, which were the Barboza fight and the Holloway fight. But, you know, I called MadLab on the way home from the Ascend Brotherhood, and, you know, I don't even have to ask. I could just tell in the tone of MadLab's voice how the night's going.
Sounds
like,
like
yo, what's up, bro?
up.
I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Yeah, what's up? Like, all right, that means we're not having a good night. He's like, yeah, man, it's all been going wrong all night, this and that, blah, 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 blah. He's like, you know, he's like, we can still pull it out. He goes, if Barboza comes through, and if he does come through, I'm going to up the share on Holloway, and then we'll pull through with a decent night, and we'll come at least on with profit, you know? I go, all right. And I got home. Sure enough, Barboza knocks him out.
What? I didn't even realize you were watching until you messaged me, and you're like, holy.
Yeah. Barboza knocks him out, and then Holloway proved to be too much. And look, I give credit to Arnold Allen, man. The kid looks good. He looked good. And
do you know that people actually scored that fight for him?
Come on, bro.
I swear to God, Ariel Helwani had him winning the fight.
How?
I have no idea.
I mean, you even look at the stats.
I mean,
you know, like, look, Holloway didn't wax him, you know what I mean? But, like, you know, he clearly was winning.
You could decisively score the rounds.
Yeah. You know, like, I don't know, like, how.
Yeah.
I don't understand what people are watching sometimes, man. But, you know, and then if you want to say, well, you know, a lot of times they go, well, you know, yeah, maybe this guy outstruck him, but if you look at the damage, he outstruck him and did more damage. It was both. So where's the argument for Arnold Allen if he had way less strikes, right? The only thing he was doing was he was coming forward. Great, big deal.
Yeah.
You know I
mean, I thought, like I said, it was a good fight, but you could clearly score the rounds.
Yeah, I don't know why in the world.
Like, clearly, when I saw, like I'm saying, Helwani's tweet, Helwani's like, well, I had it, you know, for Allen by 1 round, but I could see where they would give it to Holloway. I'm like, what?
I don't know how you could have it for Allen. I mean, Allen knew he lost at the end of the fight.
Yeah,
he saw how upset he was.
Exactly, that's another thing.
He got into the corner. He was like, damn, like he knew,
yeah,
like
he knew.
He knew
he lost. Yeah,
you know, he wasn't a shocker. You know. Well, anyway, you know what? Max Holloway is still, you know, one of the best guys out there. You know, yeah, sure, he's been through wars, but he's not old by any means. And, you know, if it wasn't for Volkanovski, you know, he'd be right up there for a title shot, but he's kind of stuck now. They're not gonna put him against Volk again for a 4th time. I highly doubt that. You never know.
You never know. They might. What are you going to do? You're going to start. You'd rather do that though than them start lapping people.
Well, look, if Yair Rodriguez, which I highly doubt, beats Volkanovski, they probably would give Max a shot.
Yeah.
But if Volkanovski wins, which I'm pretty confident he's going to win, they're not going to give Max another shot already. You know. But I didn't see these other 2 fights you were talking about with the Pudilova robbery. It was bad,
bro.
Against Jocelyn Edwards.
Bro, it was.
I saw you tweeted it. You're like, dude, I don't know what people were watching.
It was egregious, dude.
Yeah, that bad.
It was egregious. Like, this girl literally. I mean, we didn't have any juice on it, but this girl literally was. I mean, won the fight. We don't. When you talk about like being able to score rounds, like you could just literally. I could have had my nephew there and being like, yeah, that girl won. That girl won. It was the most ridiculous. It was one of the worst decisions I've seen in a while, dude.
Damn.
Like, it was that bad. And that was the first fight of the night.
How mad was Jocelyn?
No, Jocelyn won.
How mad was Pudilova, I mean?
I think she was more stunned than anything.
Yeah.
And I think Jocelyn was more shocked than anything.
More shocked.
Yeah,
right.
Like, it was crazy. But the highlight of the night for us, dude, was Barboza by far, dude. Because it went exactly the way we said it. We said, like, you don't realize how hard this guy hits until you're actually in there with him.
And also to step up in competition for Billy.
Yeah, but like the UFC knew, like, this is going to be a banger of a fight. These guys are going to come in. They're not going to take a back step. And who do you trust more? You trust the power of Barboza? You trust the power? So I didn't think it was going to end that quick. I thought, like, it would be like, you know, Barboza wins the first round on damage. Maybe I didn't think he was going to end it like that. But, bro, he's still a stud.
Edson Barboza is still a force in the UFC.
So we were on the right side of that, where there was a lot of people that went the other way. Majority of the people. I don't think many people picked Barboza at all.
No, not at all.
You know, so that saved our night, and we ended up with a very small profit. But on a night where I've seen a lot of people take a nosedive,
take damage.
I mean, big damage that night. We ended up ending with a profit, so that's all we can ask for.
Good. You know, MadLab just shot a great breakdown of the Garcia Tank Davis fight, which is Saturday night. Biggest fight in a while. Can't wait to watch that fight. My son's birthday, so hopefully I'm home by that time at nighttime to watch. If not, I'll catch the replay of the fight. Looking forward to that. So he did a full breakdown. So we're going to be doing 2 videos a week now. We do our Inside the Distance, and we're going to do another video, mostly going to be fighter interviews starting next week. I don't want to say who's the guest on the show yet. Let's make sure it all works out the right way. But either way, there'll be 2 videos a week that are shot. So this week we're doing this show, and he did the Tank Davis, Danny Garcia breakdown, which you guys will see soon. We'll discuss it a little bit later at the end, right towards the end, a little rant, but look forward to that. And then before we start the show, one quick thing, which kind of stinks because I thought this was the best fight on the card. Song Yadong, Ricky Simone fight got postponed.
They pushed it to the 29th because
why did they do that?
Moicano. Because that main event was out, so they kind of just skirted in its place. Which now that changes things with the predictions.
Sure, of course.
Because now you're looking at 5 rounds.
Yeah, well, you didn't know who you were going to pick anyway.
I was really on the fence. It was a situation where I honestly was going to pick on the show. I was going to literally pick on the show. Like, I still was torn on it.
I love Ricky Simone.
I love him
There's
too.
Something about him, the way he fights, his aggression, the constant shooting. Like I just like his style.
I love him too, but I think people just forget. Like it's just amazing how you can have a fighter like Song Yadong who, bro. Do you remember when before he lost to Sandhagen? What was everyone saying?
This is the next great Asian.
The Asian champ.
He's Chinese, right?
Yeah.
The next big thing from China. Yeah.
This and apple pie. Then all of a sudden he loses to
one fight.
Corey Sandhagen,
a great fighter.
And now
all of a sudden you forget he's a dog.
You forget, and he's only 25 years old.
He shouldn't have been a dog, I don't think, in this fight. But I do love Ricky Simone.
But now in a 5-round fight, I could see a rhyme of reasoning for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now it's the constant pressure.
And Simone's got a motor.
And he's got a motor. So, but still, I don't know, man. That's a close fight. That's a real tricky, trappy line.
I thought that was the best fight on the card, man. I couldn't wait to see that fight.
Yeah, me too.
You know, that's okay, though. We're going to break down the 4 fights now on the main card, all right? So, if you guys don't know, this is Inside the Distance. We got 3 minutes for all the fights besides the main event and 5 minutes for the main event to discuss. We go back and forth. And before we start the clock, you know, listen, from the East Coast, from Jersey, we just ask you one thing, man. Subscribe to the channel. Help us build the audience. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. And last but not least, share the show with any of your friends that like East Coast, Jersey, fighting, UFC, combat sports, and we appreciate the support. So now, this time we're going to start at the top with the main event. We got Curtis Razor Blaydes against Pavlovich. You know, Blaydes, he's only got 3 losses. He's only got 3 losses to his name. He's on a win streak, but the Aspinall fight, you know, if you guys remember the Tom Aspinall fight, which I was looking forward to that fight. Aspinall busted his knee up right at the beginning of the fight. Sucked. That fight never ended up happening. But Blaydes was on a path for a title shot, right? And then he caught that Derek Lewis thump when he was going for a double leg, and Derek Lewis caught him with that uppercut, knocked him out cold, kind of set him back a little bit, but he was right on track for a title shot at that time.
Yeah.
He's an amazing wrestler. That's his biggest attribute. I always like Blaydes. Pavlovich is he's on a 5-fight winning streak, man. Tiavaso, Derek Lewis, Maurice Greengold, Marahimov, 14 knockouts, 1 knockout in his loss. He's a tough dude, man. But against Blaydes, you know, who's an elite wrestler. Is Blaydes an Olympic wrestler, man?
No.
You know, but he's a sick wrestler. So I expect Blaydes to be consistently trying to take him down to the ground. I think this is a big kind of a comeback fight for Blaydes to show that he is a force in the heavyweight division. And I like Blaydes to win this fight. But I'm going to say Blaydes by decision. I think he's going to have a lot of control time. All
right, yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you said except for the decision. I think he's going to finish the fight.
You do?
Yeah, I just think you got 5-round fight. It's a 5-round fight. You know, you got these guys who are ultimately bigger guys. You got a guy in Blaydes who puts on I mean, think about carrying 260 pounds for 5 rounds. If you can't keep him off you, that just drains your tank more and more. I like Pavlovich. I think he's a good fighter. I mean, if you look at the level of opposition, Tavares, Lewis, Abrahimov, Maurice Green, Gome, like he's beaten okay guys. But if you look at their resume, like who's really trying to take him down?
Yep.
Tavas is not trying to take you down. Lewis isn't trying to take you down. Abrahimov, Green's not trying to take you down. Like, who's really trying to take him down? You know, so now he's got a guy in Curtis Blaydes who is extremely athletic. He's got a good fighter's body. He's perfect size for a heavyweight. Not that Pavlovich isn't, but now you have to deal with 5 rounds with a guy who, if he's smart, which sometimes he's not always smart. If he's smart, he's gonna really just get onto the hips. He's gonna shoot the takedowns. The problem with Blaydes is sometimes when he takes a shot or he decides to engage with you, he gets caught. That's how he gets. That's
Derek Lewis.
Yeah, but that's how he always gets clipped. He gets clipped when he kind of rushes in or shoots with his head, leads with his head, or just he gets involved in sometimes these firefights that he doesn't need to get into. Like when you're that high pedigree of a wrestler, you should understand like where your head is supposed to be placed when you're taking a shot, how to protect yourself and stuff. Sometimes he just kind of shoots recklessly and he gets caught. Pavlovich is going to want to time that, or Pavlovich is going to want to really sting him with something early to make him hesitate. 3-round fight, you might debate it a little bit. You might go back and forth and say, well, but a 5-round fight, there's no way that I can go against Blaydes here. And at his price, minus 165, you know, how do you like not take a look at that? 8,800 in a 5-round fight where this guy can literally get 5, 6 takedowns and possibly a finish. How do you not look at that? So I love the value both ways for
both
Blaydes.
ways.
Both ways for him. As far as Pavlovich, plus 140, 7,400. I don't see enough value on him at plus 140. 7,400, you can make a justification for it because it's 5 rounds. But I
gotta tell you though, something makes me a little nervous though.
It does seem trappy. It does.
Something makes me a little nervous, man. And we don't know how good Pavlovich is because he hasn't fought that higher level. I mean, Tavares is good, Lewis, whatever. I mean, a little concerning for me.
No, it's definitely concerning.
It's very appetizing for Blaydes.
But that's why it seems a little trappy.
That's what I'm worried about.
But sometimes you just got to bite down and go.
Just bite down on
you know what I mean? When you have a card like this where there's spots like there was kind of tricky with it. Sometimes you just got to look at something if it even if sometimes it doesn't smell right. But if it's just what's in front of you is these are the paths, and I'd rather go with the things I know that they're going to do. I don't know if he's going to be able to stop takedowns. I really don't know. Like, maybe he will. Maybe he'll be able to stuff everything. I don't know, but his history shows that Blaydes has that path to victory, and if you can't stop it, he's going to win.
And he shoots with such explosion that he's very tough to stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
But he could be
comes
caught.
Firing in with those takedowns.
It's really going to be the first round. Is he going to have success in the first round, or is he going to get caught and stung? Because if he gets caught and stung, he might that Derek Lewis nightmare might creep in a little bit.
Bro, that's a nightmare he has once a week.
Yeah.
All right, next fight in the card, we got Tavares against Bruno Silva. I love the way Bruno Silva fights. I know he's reckless, you know, but he has that killer, be killed mentality. He's an animal in there. But he is on a 2-fight losing streak. Mearshart, Alex Pereira, nothing to cry about there. Tavares is high pedigree, you know, high cage IQ, good fighter. He's durable. He's just a good decision fighter. Not a lot of power, not a lot, you know, but he's just a skillful guy. But he's underappreciated. You've said that many times. But I am going to go with the dog, with Bruno Silva, coming out like a wild man and somehow catches Tavares, and Bruno Silva wins by knockout.
You think he's going to knock him out?
I do.
Wow. All right.
That's a real gut call there.
Well, no, I mean, he if anyone could, I mean, he could definitely do it. I just did the thing with this fight is I said the same thing. I was like, I could see Bruno Silva just like catching him with something like reckless. But when you look at Brad Tavares, this is a guy who is I'm not saying he's winning these fights, but his fighting style is so consistent. You know what I mean? Like, he's never flashy. He's not going to knock you out. He's not going to sub you. He
doesn't put himself in too much danger.
Doesn't put himself. He plays a very cautious, strategic chess game with you. And if you're a reckless fighter and you're swinging wide and you're swinging for the fences, this is a guy who just feeds right off the center line.
It's a bad matchup for Bruno Silva. Don't get me wrong.
But
I don't know. I just have this feeling.
No, yeah. So, but my philosophy on this whole fight is like when you look at Brad Tavares, you're looking at a guy at 8,900. I don't like that. I don't like 8,900 for a guy who's going to kind of pick and poke at you. You know, Bruno Silva would be the value side, but Tavares is durable. We've seen him in wars, man, where the kid just doesn't give up. We've seen him finish and stuff like that, but there's just something about the technical ability of Silva that of Tavares that I don't think Bruno Silva is going to be able to figure out. I think he's going to get frustrated. I think he's going to gas out, to be honest with you. I think he's going to go in trying to like kill or be killed, like you said. And then as the round goes on, Tavares is just going to be that model of consistency, and he's going to kind of pick and piece and poke and prod at him.
Keep the pace,
and he's going to probably end up winning the decision. I don't like the $8,900 price tag. The minus 185 is dangerous because, like Anthony said, with the knockout. The plus 150, I don't like that either because I just think, like I said, Tavares might be a little bit too technical for him. But the $7,300 is intriguing, especially in tournaments, because if he does end up doing what Anthony says and clipping him and knocking him out, I mean, he's $300, $400 over a punt play. That's borderline, optimal there with a knockout. I just don't see it happening. I see Tavares, like I said, maybe losing the first round, maybe getting cut up in the first round. We're all sitting on the edge of our seats. Oh, my God, is he going to last round two? And then Tavares just gets his wheels back under him, starts picking and prodding at him. Bruno Silva starts getting tired, and he ends up winning the decision. So I would stay away from this from a betting perspective unless you're sold on Silva. And as far as the Tavares price, I don't like that at $8,900. And Silva, if you really believe he's going to knock him out, that's where the value only lies there.
Throw a couple stabs on Silva in your lineups, okay?
Listen to him.
All right, next fight on the card: Bobby Green, Jared Gordon. I'm a little surprised that Green is that much of a favorite at minus 275.
Yeah.
We know Bobby Green. He has a 2-fight losing streak against Drew Dober, who I absolutely love, who I wish they would put up Paddy Pimblett against Drew Dober because I want to see Dober just wreck shop. And then he lost against Makhachev coming on short notice, but I mean, you're talking about Islam Makhachev, right? So those are not two bad losses right there. Green is the guy who just talks smack in there the whole time.
Backs it up, though.
He does the Philly shell. He has the shoulder roll. He's very awkward. He's tough to hit. He's got a good style. But he's been on the wrong side of things, for the last couple of fights. Again, Dober and Makhachev, can't cry about. Jared Gordon got absolutely robbed against Paddy Pimblett. I mean, there was nobody who had that scored. In fact, when they pull out the scorecards, every single media scorecard had it for Jared Gordon. Man, that was such a robbery. And it's unfortunate because, Paddy's a cash guy. He's a face. But, I mean, he should have got a loss right there. So that sucked. Jared Gordon's not a bad fighter. He's not a great fighter. He's a good fighter. I think this is actually a very good matchup. Before the show, I was going to take the dog here, believe it or not. And then I just thought about Bobby Green, the way he fights, his style. I don't think this is a good stylistic matchup for Gordon. You said it too. Gordon's very stationary, kind of fights the same way. And Green's completely the opposite, man. Awkward, tough to hit, the rolls, this and that. And he's very accurate too. So I think Bobby Green here wins by decision.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. It's the whole thing with the stationary style of Gordon. When you look at Jared Gordon, this is a guy who's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, who high-level jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't utilize it unless he really, really needs it. He likes to strike too, but he's very vanilla. Bobby Green does the one thing that throws everybody off. That a lot of people can't. He doesn't do it exactly the way it's supposed to work, but he does it is the Philly shell. Yep. He knows how to take his target away. He knows how to, he minimizes his target to the point where you really need to be slick and you really need to know what you're doing when you're striking against a guy like that to really capitalize and create these certain angles to kind of crack the shell. Jared Gordon ain't that guy. Like, he's not that guy that's going to be understand how to jump off the center line and look for angles and try to set traps and landmines and to try to crack that shell. He's just not that type of guy. If he decides to employ his grappling, is he a good grappler? Yeah, he's a really good grappler. I mean, he's a black belt under John Danaher. You got to be a good fucking black belt, a good grappler. Bobby Green's a really good wrestler, though, so getting him there is going to be an issue. It's not. It's just nothing stacks up right for me to pick Gordon here. I think that price is asinine, $275.
It's crazy.
It's crazy because if they do get into a grappling exchange, I mean, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is on Jared Gordon's side. The guy.
I would have expected a minus 170.
Right. So if we knew Bobby Green was going to take it to the ground, I'm like, dude, they're going to be tussling on the ground. This could be a problem for him. Then fine, but Bobby Green is not looking to go to the ground.
Yep.
He's looking to stand and trade with you. He's going to kind of use the entire real estate of the cage. He's going to pick you. He's going to prod you. And I just see it being like a 30-27 wash, dude.
Me too. Me too. I agree.
Yeah.
How do you like the DK stuff?
So on the DK end of it,
I don't like any of it.
I don't like it because listen. One thing about Gordon, he is chinny. So I could see Green finishing him, but he's not a finisher.
He's not a finisher.
That's the problem. He's not a finisher. So 9,400 is a little high for me. Minus 275 is high for me. If you guys are of the mindset that you think Gordon can snatch up a sub if it hits the ground, then there's value there all day. I still don't even think there's value on plus 210, though, on him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch the minus 275, but I think this is just a terrible matchup, and I think the pricing all the way around is just bad and wrong. Like I'm not going to have a lot of this on DK, and I'm not going near it on the line unless there's a prop that I can hit, like to start third round or
Bobby Green
like
by
that.
decision.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, that's what you guys want to look for in this fight. Look for props. Look to minimize you. I mean, if you're really confident that Green's going to win and you want to tie him into a parlay, he could be a fine parlay piece.
Yeah.
But anything straight, I wouldn't go near.
All right, last fight on the main card here is going to be Jeremiah Wells and Matthew Schmelzberger. I love I never say I'm calling him Schmelzberger. I love this guy, man. He's tough. He's raw. He's an animal in there. This is a good fight, but this kid Wells hits hard too, man.
Bro, he hits like a ton of bricks.
He hits like a ton of bricks, man. This is probably going to be the fight of the night. I think it would have been Simone and Sedang Young. Now that they're off the card, I think this is going to be the fight of the night right here. Tough card. It's almost dead even. It's almost a pick 'em, right? Minus 105, minus 115. DK's close as well, 78 and 84. The Wells has that one knockout power, but Schmelzberger is just, he's tough, but if he gets baited into that firefight, which he does, I can see him getting knocked out. But I'm going to take Schmelzberger.
You're going to, right?
I'm going to take Schmelzberger here, man. I am.
I don't know, man. This is a fight that, like, you got to look at, like, so many variables. I mean, they're so similar. I mean, other than Schmelzberger being, like, the bigger guy, it's a great fight, but they're both switch fighters. They're both, Schmelzberger's throwing a little bit more value than him, but if you look at their numbers, like, outside of, certain small variables, they're kind of the same. But the problem that I see with Schmelzberger in the fight that concerns me is that if you look at his striking land and he's 4.6, if you look at his strike absorbed, it's 4.6.
He's taking just as much.
Taking just as much. If you look at Jeremiah Wells, he's 3.6 and 1.6. Doesn't mean all that much when you're dealing with guys that have this much power, like when these guys are dealing with that much power. And the other thing on Jeremiah Wells' side I don't like is the guy's never been deep. In his career, he's never been deep. We've seen Schmelzberger like in these dirty fights where he's been hurt and he had to recover. That's where his durability lies. It's not that you crack him, he don't go down. You crack him, he'll go down or he'll get hurt and he recovers. That's a big difference. You know what I mean? So I just feel like he's getting better and he's getting better. And I think Jeremiah Wells is good. And like I said, this is another guy who's got a high grappling pedigree, but he doesn't really use it unless he really needs it. I don't know. There's something about Schmelzberger, though, that I got to agree with you, dude. I just think, like, there's something about just being a tough dude, bro.
Yeah,
a tough dude. That's a good athlete, that he's getting better. He's almost reminds me of, what's the one guy who never panned out from Alabama?
Who, Devin Smith?
No, the what the hell is his name, dude? Christ, I'm forgetting. I'm drawing a blank now. He's the Alabama football player, middleweight.
Oh my God. The big guy.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, dude.
And now I'm drawing a blank too.
But like he just,
monster.
Yeah,
oh my God.
he just
Eric
Anders.
Eric Anders.
He just never like panned out, dude.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Schmelzberger's like that guy. Like he's the type of guy that he's at least getting better, dude.
Yeah, he's getting better.
He's getting better. He fits the mold better. I like him. He's more of a fighter than Eric Anders to me.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to pick him too. I'm going to say Matt Schmelzberger. Nice. And I'm going to say by knockout.
Let's go.
Knock him out. Yeah.
You definitely want to share this fight.
Yeah, you definitely. I don't think this one's going to the cards, to be honest with you. You got Jeremiah Wells at 8,400. There's value there because if he wins, he's getting a knockout. Schmelzberger 7,800, sub 8,000. He wins. There's value there. Basically, a pick 'em. Schmelzberger's minus 105, minus 115. I don't mind either way you go. There's no right or wrong answer. This is just our opinions. I probably wouldn't lay any money on this fight. I probably would look for a prop, inside the distance prop. If you think Schmelzberger's going to win by knockout, I'm sure you'll get that for plus money. You look for Jeremiah Wells to finish. I'm sure you can get that for plus money. If you think his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is going to come into play, which very possibly can, I'm sure you can get that for even more plus money. So definitely look for prop angles on this. But super close fight. But I'm gonna lean Schmelzberger.
All right. Well, there you go. The 4 fights on the card. Now let's talk a little bit about Tank and Danny Garcia. I know we got the video coming out.
Dude, I'm so excited.
The full breakdown's coming out. Or it might even be out already. It depends. He just shot it before we shot this show, so I'm not sure when they're going to release it. But Anyway, last night, I was out last night and met a couple guys out. On the way home, I called MadLab, and he was like, dude, you won't believe this, which I still don't believe. He's like, they had a video of Tank talking to Danny Garcia, and they're saying that they're gonna put it in the contract and they're gonna play for it all. They're gonna fight for it all. You're talking about
big money, dude.
You're talking about $10+ million here, probably.
Big money, dude.
And
this ain't like UFC guys, you know.
This is a big.
This is
boxing
is big money,
pay-per-view
dude.
fight.
Yeah,
There's big
dude.
money in boxing. So, you know, I find it hard. You know, these guys, they do that in the moment when they get emotional. But then once they eat their wares off and then they go talk to the manager, the guy goes, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Are you out
yeah.
of your mind?
Yeah.
So I don't expect that to actually happen. I'd be shocked if it did. But I tell you, if it did, it'd make the storyline even better.
Bro,
You know?
you imagine what you feel like you're in that line. You're like,
But
what
even
did
tell
I
them,
do?
tell them what you told me they were saying on the fight. This is about legacy. This is like this is.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. This is what I'm going to tell you.
I like.
There's certain things that he says that makes me like him more. Like, I don't like his persona.
Danny said?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that
Tank said?
No, that Ryan said.
Yeah.
So,
Not Danny, Ryan. Sorry.
so
Danny.
the thing with Ryan Garcia is like he's 24 years old, bro. And people forget that he's a kid.
But he's a stud.
And he goes into Instagram and he does his corny things and he says his little corny mantras. But at the end of the day, he's 24 years old. But if you really listen to him and you capture some of the things that he says, like he was on Mike Tyson hotboxing. Mike Tyson said, if there's one guy you can train with, who would it be? Now, a kid 24 years old, you know, you would say, Oscar De La Hoya or Pernell Whitaker, because that's like
Sure.
kind of his thing. He says Sugar Ray Robinson.
Wow. So he's a boxing historian.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah. He's a
certain, and he's like, and Mike Tyson's like, really, Sugar Ray Robinson? He's like, yeah, you know why? And he goes, why? He goes, because Muhammad Ali said he was the greatest. Like that's like things like that.
Yeah,
so with this,
I
what
get that.
happened was Tank Davis and his friend IG'd him on IG Live or whatever. Like you could request someone to come on. I don't know too much about that, but he was in his car. He was driving. He accepted it. He got on, and there was like 4 of them. They were all talking smack to him.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm by myself in the car. He's like, I'm coming home from training, and you're in a room. He's like, that shows where our you know motivations are here. So then Tank goes, what do you say we make a bet? So he's like, name it, and he's like, put it all up. And he said it as a joke, I think. And Ryan Garcia's like, all right, put it all up. Get the contract written, put it all up. He's like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, I'm serious. He goes, no, put it all. He's like, I just said to you, it's all on the line anyway. So put it all up. And bro, he wasn't like nervous. He wasn't taking a back step. He just said, sign the con. He's like, get me the contract. Tank got on the phone, and he was obviously on the phone with his manager or somebody. He goes, write me up a contract. He wants to go. He's like, are you serious? He goes, no, I'm dead serious. He's dead ass serious. He goes, send it. So if he signs a contract, I don't know.
Bro.
But you got to have some balls.
This ain't boxing where it's a UFC where it's like 50 grand, 100 grand.
And even if you're
there's
trapped,
no bonuses.
But even if you're trapped on an IDG Live and you got hundreds of thousands of people watching, and you feel like I'm trapped to say this, you could still see an emotion in their face that maybe it gets a little gaunt, or what did I just say? Bro, he was driving his car. He's like, dude, I got to go. I'm hungry. Like the kids got balls, dude. You know. So and then one of our favorite trainers is going to be training him, that Goosen.
Love, you better get inside. I don't want to curse because we can't curse no more.
Better get inside on them now.
You guys seen the one of the
Corrales
greatest
and
fights
Castillo.
in history? Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. I mean, if you never watched that fight, I've watched it probably 100 times. I used to actually own it
What about
on
that shirt?
DVD.
What about that shirt he was
and he
wearing?
had that shirt on.
The Hawaiian.
And if you guys don't know the story, it was a war. Like you got to watch the whole fight
gotta
because
watch
of
the whole
how
fight.
what a
Brutal.
war it was. And I mean, so many big shots. But then in the 10th round, you know, Corrales gets knocked down, right?
Remember his eye?
Then he gets knocked down again. The mouthpiece comes out. The mouthpiece came out twice.
Yeah.
Right?
He kept spitting it out.
He kept spitting it out. And he was almost out on his feet, and then they grabbed the mouthpiece. They handed it to Goosen. He had this like Hawaiian shirt on, and he grabs the mouthpiece. He goes, "You better effing get inside of him now!"
Yeah.
And puts the mouthpiece. He comes back out and he knocks out Castillo right after 2. It
And
was
then
like,
Goosen, you see the way Goosen ran into the ring?
dude. I mean, the epic, and then the late Diego Corrales, right? He ended up dying in a motorcycle accident about a year.
Yeah.
A year
couple
or two
years
later.
ago, yeah.
Horrible.
Yep.
He was a great fighter too. But yeah, you got to watch that fight. But Goosen is going to be in
Garcia's
corner. So it's going to be a great fight.
Do you like that?
That Goosen's in his corner? I do.
I love it, dude.
I love it. I think it's
Because
great.
it brings like that old school into new school.
I got to tell you, I don't even know who to pick in this fight.
Listen, there's no. I'm going to tell you right now. I said it in the breakdown. There's no right or wrong answer. Did you hear about the rehydration clause?
Yeah, you did 10 pounds.
Yeah, so guys, they're bringing up this rehydration clause. It's a little bit too much. And like I said, I go into full detail with it on the video if you want to watch it. It's about a half-hour video. But just so you guys know, like a touch on the rehydration. Actually, go to the video to watch that.
Yeah,
You want to learn about the rehydration clause and everything, all the detail I put into that. Like, you'll know if it's something to worry about or not after you watch that video. So there is a rehydration clause where Ryan Garcia cannot come in 10 pounds over his weigh-in weight on fight day. But go over there. I got full details on that. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to rip out all the film that I did on this fight. Like I said, if you want to watch that, there's a half-hour video to do so. But I do see some paths that people don't see for Garcia to win the fight. You know, I do. I do see some paths. I see some realistic paths that I've seen a lot of, like, really good trainers and stuff just kind of mishappen. I don't know why. I don't know if they keep going back. A lot of people sometimes just keep going back to resumes and seeing, like he's fought the better guys. Okay, I get it, but you sometimes got to look at the matchup, and you got to sometimes look at the previous things that a fighter maybe did that weren't good that fighter can definitely capitalize on, and vice versa. Yep. So there's really no wrong answer. 28-0, 26 KOs for Tank Davis. Garcia 23-0, 19 KOs for him. Obviously, Garcia's a little bit bigger the guy. This is going to be.
This is a mega fight.
This is a mega fight, dude. Because, first of all, the winner of this fight, the O goes.
Yep.
And you could logistically say that they could possibly be like the face of boxing, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
This could be for the face of boxing.
Yeah, you know, Canelo's starting to get a little older now.
Yeah.
You know, this is big time. This is big time.
Yeah, so, I mean, I got a full breakdown, full prediction on the fight. You don't want me to do it here, right?
No.
What do you think's gonna? Who do you think's gonna win? Like, if you had to bet money on the fight, who do you think's gonna win?
I'm going to take Garcia. I think he avoids the big power punches of Tank Davis. I think Garcia wins by decision.
By decision?
I do.
I don't think it goes to the cards.
Save it.
No, I'm just saying I don't think it goes to the cards.
I think it goes to the cards.
You think it goes to the cards?
I think he avoids the big shots.
He hits hard too, though.
I know he does.
Like, he could knock Tank out, even though we've never seen him get hurt.
Right.
But we've seen Garcia dropped.
Yes, against Campbell. Was it? Yeah.
That was really the only logistical, like, good guy that he fought.
Tank's got power.
I broke that whole thing down. You want to see? I want to talk about it so bad right now, dude, but I'm not going to.
All right. That's it. Everything else we'll speak about next week, all right?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we're good, man. See you guys next week.